con Macarena.
Sí.
Cuando quiera.
Okay, hello. Do you have the poster of the book? I'll send you the poster.
Oh.
Can you put it
Yes, photo.
Yeah, that's it. This is the one I sent you because this is the book. This
Okay.
well now this is the book. Now I'm not in the well, okay, let me
Close the photo.
I don't see myself.
Okay, now.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Later on you can put it. So I want to talk to you just a little bit about my second Cosmic Tales from Here. This is the second part, the second book for these Cosmic Tales. They are in English and Spanish. And I am ending the third part. So it's going to be 3. So I'm so surprised me myself because I didn't expect it that it could be like this. So these books come from my research about voice, therapy, soul, consciousness, and love. And I want to be so close to many people that would like to some personal growth with the reading, because maybe they are not interested in doing nothing else. They are in sports and they only will like to read something. So that's why I am doing these books. It's to give some healing through the words, through these lovely tales. And there are many tales, many different tales. I mean, there are 12 in the first part, 12 in the second, and there are going to be 12 in the third part also. So I recommend you these books, and I would like you to recommend them for children, for pupils, for young people, for teenagers, for adults, or big children, as we are, because you can read them in high voice and also enjoy them when you read it alone. But I'm very interested in how they sound and how you can hear the values they have by hearing yourself or listening to the other person or the child or whatever that is doing the reading. It's trying to help all the time, and it's trying to give a lot of love inside. I would like to read a tale that it's a poem, and it's I Become a Comet, and that is made about Leonard Comet, but now we have another comet, Nishimura. I think it's the name. It's a lovely comet crashing all around the planet, and it's visible. There are many pictures on Instagram. A new comet. And then I would like to read, because it's what is happening. So we are on the top of the news. So I would like to read this one. And in this book, there are a tale about feminine power or feminine force, better than power. And I recommend you because you can make a thought, a reflection yourself about many matters that you will enjoy. About voice, there are one about the wolf and the larynx, for example. and then they are explaining to us what happened in the first beginning. And I think that wolves give us a special point of view about how growth the larynx in human person. It's a good point. So here I am. I Become a Comet. It's dedicated to Comet Leonardo and all the comets that navigate the firmaments, transporting luminous consciousness. My precious sweet in this new breath has been moving into sparks and stars. It's like a long cape that is leaving its spark everywhere it goes. And I saw myself grow by meridians and parallels in so many layers on Earth, thanks to nature. Later, I continued as a human being jumping into new skies, even to other planets, opaque or shiny, sometimes into whole galaxies as I was finding them. And now, you know what? I reached this new medal that makes me an emblem of my sensitive evolution from other planets now. And when you look upwards, you recognize me with this great trail. I'm making myself visible so that you see me as I travel between night and dawn. We meet, and from time to time, we will meet again. It's now on your ladder of growing love through all your being, where you will vibrate on your ability, going up, very aware, until you feel the new trail that makes you, like me, become a new comet.
Very good.
So I put in this book, I put a musical suggestion. It's the first time I do it. I will do for the next, I think. And this, the suggestion for this is Symphoniacs. It's a group, it's a lovely group of young people doing in a classical way new melodies. This is A Sky Full of Stars, the Coldplay, but it's made in a concert version. I recommend it because it's full of joy. So this is what I want to tell you today about my book, and I please beg you to recommend it. And I have the books myself for anyone who want to have this, and I will sign it if you buy it. Okay. So this is the second one. As you see, I put Aurora. I put a special light of the night, you see, and it's a real one. It's not from Google. It's a real one from the north of Europe, because there's a phenomenon that is happening now. And I think that is the best way to talk about that we are cosmic people having a human experience here in the Earth planet.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Now is Piero time. Ahora le toca a Piero. Así que sí que ruego cerrar los micrófonos, porque cuando alguien hace un ruido, ¿Te tienes que ir, Macarena?
Sí, tengo una máster hasta ahora.
No.
Por eso quería entrar a la primera.
Vale.
Así que gracias,
Bueno.
me lo mandáis todo, ¿vale?
Vale.
Y si tenéis alguna pregunta, también la contesto, ¿vale?
Vale, gracias.
Un abrazo y muchas gracias.
A ti, hasta luego, adiós.
Un abrazo.
Adiós. Vale, pues es el turno de Piero. Cuando quieras.
Creo que sea mejor que hable en castellano, porque...
No, habla en italiano, se queda grabado en italiano y no
Sí.
pasa nada. Claro.
Una cosa tengo que puntualizar, porque ayer me has hecho una pregunta, ¿cómo me ha salido la primera poesía en castellano? Mi respuesta era incompleta, o sea, tengo que completarla porque es peculiar. O sea, yo escribo poesías, sobre todo al 90%, salgo de unos pensamientos que me pasan en el dormiveglia, o sea, en la última fase del sueño. Y no pensando el título, ma intentando de construir el principio de una poesía. Y me ha pasado así, pero en vez que en italiano, yo estaba pensando en castellano. Y he escrito esta poesía pensando a una poetesa, ¿cómo se dice?
Sí, poetisa.
A una poeta que conocemos, a Julia.
Vaya, genial.
Y se la ella mandada y algunas cosas se reflejan como los poetas viven abajo de la piel del mundo. se refleja no solamente en su persona, ma también en su poética, que me gusta muchísimo, igual porque es el contrario de la mía.
Genial.
Bien, entonces, vamos al libro en italiano.
Vale.
El libro en italiano se llama, se ve, La valigia delle idee, che è edita dalla Società Editrice Pontevecchio di Cesena, Italia. Y después hablo del título. La traducción es La maleta o la mochila de las ideas. Y se ve una niña que con la maleta percorre su camino hacia el futuro con sus ideas en la mochila. O sea, la ilustración no ha sido una ópera de arte del editor, no mía. Es naturalmente en italiano y es el libro que más mío que más amo, porque tiene temáticas que no, hablo in italiano, contiene temi che riguardano la mia persona, la mia formazione, ma anche quella di mio figlio e anche di tutti. I miei libri non hanno una stesura omogenea, non sono monotematici, o sea, hay autores que hablan de una historia de amor y escriben poesías relacionadas todas a esta historia de amor. Però tienen un filo conduttore. Este filo conduttore che ripete il titolo, La valigia delle idee, è accompagnato, secondo le mie ispirazioni, da poesie introspettive, poesie d'amore, poesie di musica, ma anche di denuncia laica. ¿Se entiende? Bien. Questi contenuti fanno sempre parte del bagaglio, si dice bagaglio, del bagaglio delle idee che sono, non solo per me, ma è una considerazione riconosciuta. Le idee sono la linfa della vita. E che noi via via, da quando siamo bambini, niños, aggiungiamo come un nostro patrimonio che si arricchisce come strumenti, instrumentos, che utilizziamo per raggiungere i nostri sogni, le nostre speranze e i nostri orizzonti nel futuro. Questo concetto, questo pensamento, ho cercato di dirigerlo soprattutto ai giovani, fra cui mio figlio, giovane musicista, come piccolo contributo per aiutarli a rendere la loro giovinezza meno confusa. Il problema dei giovani perché sono confusi? Perché ancora devono maturare le priorità, devono maturare le regole per vivere, per rispettare gli altri e quindi è un periodo, l'adolescenza, di confusione. E secondo me le idee è uno scritto che una frase che è nel libro: le idee sono petali si dice così, i petali sono i petali dei fiori, come si dice? Petali colorati che aiutano i sogni a fiorire. È comprensibile? La presentazione del libro è stata fatta e ho avuto la fortuna di avere come presentatore il professor Leardo Mascanzoni, raffinato docente all'Università di Bologna di storia medievale e anche scrittore. Sta completando adesso una storia di 450 pagine, a cui devo tutta la mia gratitudine per avere perfettamente interpretato la mia poetica. Tutto a posto? Qualche domanda? Finisco con la lettura della poesia La stagione dei sogni. La stagione dei sogni arriva dopo aver fatto il bagaglio delle idee. E questa poesia consiste in un dialogo fra me e mio figlio. Questa poesia è l'ultima del libro ed è un po' la sintesi del contenuto del libro. È un dialogo fra me e mio figlio per spronarlo, cioè per dargli un empujarlo a non intristirsi, a non perder tempo, ispirandomi all'opera di teatro da cui sono sempre stato attratto, Aspettando Godot di Samuel Beckett. Perché Aspettando Godot esprime il contrario di ciò che io voglio significare nel mio libro. Spronare i giovani a utilizzare le idee per andare avanti verso i sogni. Ricerca delle idee come redenzione dal torpore e dalla pigrizia. Il torpore è uno stato di pigrizia, ecco, di inerzia. Allora la vado a leggere in italiano, cercando di andare despacio e cercando di mettere un po' di sonorità, che non so se mi riesce. La stagione dei sogni. Mi dicesti, il mio sogno è la musica. Come d'incanto arriva il giorno in cui l'anima abbandona indugio e torpore. Strusciare le ore amareggia e intristisce. Vita, insondabile sfida, ora teatro dei tuoi unici, immensi, meravigliosi 16 anni, da incontrare entusiasta nei timidi dettagli, nei coraggiosi sogni, nello sguardo al domani, volando lassù nell'aurora. Ora è tempo di colmare le ore suonando, imparando, ascoltando, giocando allo sport, crescendo nell'intimo. Conoscere è eterno, curioso germoglio d'esistere, orizzonte infinito, bussola nel vento, senza paure, luccicante di speranza. Grazie.
Grazie Piero, grazie mille. Now is a turn to Dr. Cole. If you are ready, you can start when you want. Your microphone is out.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. My phone went out of juice while I was on the bus, because I was thinking I would get you on the bus, but unfortunately, that didn't happen. Okay. So what is the order of the things? We just read from any of our works or something What is it that am I supposed to just read from any of my works?
You can,
Yeah.
yes.
I can read from any of the. Okay, all right.
Yes.
Let me just get one quickly. All right. I know that I have done poetry here. Because I was delayed by the bus, I think I should do one about the bus I take is called bus number 8. Bus number 8. On the way to the home of my boss, BOSS, inside the belly of bus number 8, I met this woman who spoke about her loss, her teeth shining like gloss, and her breath pulled me closer. Never to be the loser, my focus was on my trouser. All through the way she talked about her husband, the Rolling Stone, who gathered all but moss. When I looked into her eyes, the remorse without tears told me how often this story must have been told. It may be old, but I still felt the load this woman I met on the road carries in her heart. As bus number 8 made the bend, it was time to part and bid her bye and relieve that bile in her voice without letting my boss know what my ears have heard. So that is bus number 8, and I'm going to share it so that in case I missed one or two things, you can also so that is bus number 8. Let me see. Okay, so it also has a prose attached to it. Bus number 8 of the Regional Transit System, RTS, that's what we call our buses here, of Gainesville, is like a novel written on the faces of its passengers. Each morning and evening, I get to read faces of people going from one of the markets to one of the biggest hospitals in the city. As the bus moves along, picking some and allowing others to get down and get about their duties for the day, I sit there, imagining what could be going on in the minds of these total strangers. There are times I open my accented mouth to engage one or two in light-hearted banter. Did I just write that? Well, accept the expression in lieu of a better one to capture what really happened. Passengers in buses in America, and I generalize here, are hardly ready or willing to exchange glances with a native attire-wearing black man like me. Okay. Or any person like me, black, brown, white, or yellow. I guess that a stranger is guilty until innocence arrives before a bus stops, shows up to save face or save the moment from the history books. Are there no times someone comes into a bus and decides that he or she better stand than sit in an empty seat next to this bearded, fresh off the boat African? You see, I wear my immigrant status like a badge, and I never help others with my propensity to want to talk during bus rides. Therefore, this very cold morning, I located empty seats at the very back of the RTS bus. It turned out that to my right, there was a very young Nigerian girl and her sister, God bless her, sat at the other end of that same space. In front of us were two middle-aged women, one a doctoral student who, during a quick chat, let me know that her husband thinks about one thing or the other. I really cannot recall now what the discussion was about that day, or I chose to forget it as a coping strategy. Ha! I got her subtle message without even trying to. The other woman with a smile said little, but her fingers spoke to me. She had rings on nearly all her fingers and a look that may confuse a neophyte in the reading of faces. Did I tell you the morning was cold? Yes, it was. That gave me a perfect alibi to engage my transient audience in small talk. I started with someone's big bag that needed a dose of slimming pills to reduce its size. The feedback I got encouraged me to talk about an exhibition on what is in a woman's bag. I once chanced upon. I saved a part of what I said for myself, in that I too need to look into my bag and ask why I carry some things day in and day out. Why do I really need that silly stuff I carry almost every blessed day? The mention of stuff gave me another topic of the history of bags. So I picked my way gently by asking a rhetorical question to no one in particular. What was humanity like before the invention of bags? Yes. How did our predecessors manage without bags? The faces I noticed did not come across as objectionable to such an early morning discussion. So I pushed the envelope a little more by telling them about my vision of how bags would evolve in a few years' time. Though it may come across like science fiction, I said, looking at the 4 women of different ages and colors, I quote, I envisage a time when owners of bags will use drone-like technology to transport their bags, end of quote. I added with so much confidence, I think the woman to the left said something like, I quote, yes, that is possible, but scary, end of quote. Scary? No, I think the designers of bags are already looking for new ways to improve how we carry bags, just like bags that now have solar panels behind them for charging cell phones and other gadgets that need charging. I did a quick scan again of my audience. I noticed disbelief written all over them. Yes, it is true. I'm not sounding like a crazy nerd who is making up stuff. I tell you, my readers, it's not always that one gets the chance to engage fellow passengers on any of these buses. There are those who come in and pull out a book to read with that invisible "do not disturb" sign on their foreheads. I guess a fellow who fits the picture of a mad professor will be in this group. He boards the bus before me and finally raises his head from the shelf of paper he appears to be reading and writing on. One day, I looked over his shoulders and saw those crawling mathematical signs and symbols all over the page. The way he balances his glasses on the tip of his nose makes me suspect he must be one of those mathematical wizards who can solve any problem awake or asleep. Yet there are some in the cell phone group. These boys and girls chat with invisible callers throughout the trip. If you listen very well, you just may catch the gist about what they're talking about. Now to the last group. They are the ones I belong to, are those who come into the bus with roving eyes and ears like rabbits, hoping someone will talk to them. What have I not heard in these buses? Should I count the story of a middle-aged woman who had her picture on Craigslist as if she was soliciting for patrons? All her details, according to the woman, who felt a little uncomfortable as she shared her story with another passenger, were online, including her movements. There was no need looking into the narrator's eyes because I could read all I wanted from her listener, another woman who flashed surprise at different points of a sad story. Therefore, who do you suspect? She asked the narrator. Good. I was not sure at first, but as soon as the police stepped in and looked at the electronic footprint, a number of suspects came up, and it was not difficult to narrow it down to one employee who was sacked a few weeks ago, she said in very subdued tone. I have left out over 50 shades of bus operators on bus number 8 for no reason in particular. They should form a whole chapter on their own. Okay. I cannot afford not to describe the woman who drives as if every day were her last on the job. Instead of retire home, she drives like a few of us who dare take the 10 o'clock bus, should end up on hospital beds and not on ours. If you ever come this way, I promise to point her out to you so that you can avoid her trips. The drivers are fun and they add to the pleasure of riding the bus. What a pity that the smooth and fast-talking brother who has a wise saying for passengers as they alight was taken off Route 8 in less than a month. Okay.
Okay, thank you. But we have only 3 minutes to close this room, and we have to move to the next link to continue the meeting.
Okay.
Perfetto, como ayer.
Sí, como
Bye.
ayer.
Yes.
Gracias.
Bye.
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 Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye.